What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for May 12th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Monday edition of the podcast. Lots to get to today. It's a big day in Philly sports. But let's start with the Phillies. Another solid win yesterday, 3-0. They took 2 of 3 from the Guardians. This one was on national TV on ESPN. Zach Wheeler was outstanding, 7 innings, 8 Ks. But what about Kyle Schwarber? Schwarber is just an absolute stud. 2 home runs, provided all the offense for the Phils. Got to pay that man. I feel like with every Schwarbomb, his price is just going up and up and up. But overall, good win, good road trip. They won 5 of 6 during this road trip. Quick little jaunt to Tampa and then up to Cleveland. They were back home tonight against the Cardinals. Christopher Sanchez on the mound as they're slowly closing in on the Mets. They're only a game and a half back now after that, after that brutal series against the Mets. But good road trip for the Phils. Kyle Schwarber is a certified stud, and so is Zach Wheeler. So we'll have more on the Phils Cardinals tomorrow, but good win, good road trip for the Phillies. Happy Mother's Day to all the Phillies moms out there as the Phillies come through on ESPN. Tonight is the NBA Draft Lottery. Where will the Sixers pick? I have no idea. We ran our final Tankathon simulation this morning. Sixers got the 4th pick. I would take that. The higher they move up, the better. It's that 6th spot where it becomes more of a question mark. But we won't have much longer to wait tonight. And there's a 42% chance roughly that they get a top 4 pick. And then 10.5 for each of the top 4 spots. 63% chance that they keep the pick. So a little bit better than 50-50, but not quite 2/3 of a chance. I do like the odds, but we'll have to see what happens. And they pretty much ran the gamut when we were doing our Tankathon simulation. So who knows? I was trying to read up on how the NBA actually does their lottery, and it's not as simple as just picking ping pong balls. They pick ping pong balls, and then each team gets a certain number combination. So when those number combinations come up, that's who gets to pick. Instead of just pull the ping pong balls. Like, it's not that difficult. But we'll find out tonight who the Sixers pick, or where the Sixers pick, if they pick at all. I feel like if they keep the pick, we're in good shape. At least there's some sort of hope. If they lose the pick, and Daryl Morey's been talking all last week and not really saying anything that gives me any type of hope or cause for like, hey, he's got a plan. It does appear he's, pretty much intent on running it back. So we'll see kind of how that works out. But NBA Draft Lottery is tonight. Let's do some quick housekeeping. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter and TikTok. On Instagram, @PhillyJimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. Remember, there are highlights on my social media pages, including Facebook and LinkedIn. So be sure to check that out if you want to see a visual representation on what we're talking about today. Truist Championship. What a weekend spotlighting Philly fans and Philly golf. Sepp Straka shot 2 under yesterday to take the tournament at 16 under. But just it was a beautiful weekend with the exception of Friday. The players talked about the energy in the Northeast, how they would love to have a regular stop. I think I saw Ricky Fowler said that. Regular stop in Philly. The crowd was amazing. Lots of Eagles chants, which is always good. But the players raved about it. It seemed like the course held up pretty well, and just the energy level and vibe. So pretty cool that the PGA Tour stopped in the area. They will be back next year at Marion I guess it's at Aronimink for the U.S. Open. So looking forward to that. I believe the U.S. Open is in July or June. No, it's June because the Open is in July. But good weekend, a good week of golf for the Philadelphia Cricket Club. Fans, everybody raved about how awesome the players were. The players raved about how awesome the fans were. So PGA, get this done, and let's have a regular stop here. All right, let's recap yesterday's question of the day. In honor of Dr. J's behind the basket layup in the finals against the Lakers, I asked you, what is your all-time favorite Sixers play? And really, everybody said the same three. It was either the Dr. J play that we talked about, or his cradle dunk against the Lakers in the regular season. AI's step over on Tyronn Lue, which is one of my favorites. But the winner that most people submitted was the AI crossover on Jordan. And that certainly was sort of the coming out moment that we realized, okay, we have something good here. So thank you as always for participating in the question of the day. We will have another one here later in the show. All right. It is NFL schedule release week, and let the rumors begin. Officially, the schedule will be announced on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. I'm hearing some rumors, but nothing substantial. I know I read this morning a couple people were saying the Eagles-Cowboys to open the season on Thursday Night Football, which would be pretty cool to raise the banner while the Cowboys are there. Lots of talk about them possibly playing on Christmas, possibly even playing in Dallas on Thanksgiving. But the NFL, the only thing we know for sure is the Eagles will open the season Thursday night at the Link. But it's always one of those things where you never know what you're going to get. But as we get rumors, I'll report them. Like I said, none of the credible sources were reporting the Cowboys. A lot of people talking it might be like the Bears or Lions, even the Commanders. But we'll see. I mean, I would love to have the Cowboys open up the season here. But as of right now, everything is just rumors. Be sure to check out my friends over at the Clashing Conferences podcast. Great things going on with our Sports Fan Network. Go to clashingconferences.com for details on what they have to offer, how you can get involved. And then be sure to check out their podcast wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And then Philly Goat, Mother's Day is gone. If you didn't get your mom anything, you can still go to Philly Goat, get something. But go through, check out everything they have. My kids want slides, so we're going to be ordering some slides this week for them. Great for the pool, the beach, wherever you want to wear them, around the house. All kinds of t-shirts. Go to phillygoat.com. Use that promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. All right, today we're going to have a little bit of a Monday doubleheader. And first, we're going to go back to 2009. And on this day in 2009, the Phillies beat the Dodgers 5-3 at Citizens Bank Park. Jayson Werth tied a team record with 4 stolen bases. He tied Sherry McGee and Gary Maddox. 3 of his stolen bases came in the 7th inning when he stole second, third, and home. Yes, he caught the Dodgers napping and stole home. The Phillies, to their credit, had 6 stolen bases that day. They came into the game with only 12, though, so they almost had 50% of their stolen base total in one game. But we all know how 2009 ended out with that losing the World Series to the Yankees. But on this day, Jayson Werth tied a Phillies team record with 4 stolen bases, 3 of them coming in one inning, second, third, and home, as the Phillies beat the Dodgers 5-3 down at Citizens Bank Park. And then fast forward 10 years. I remember exactly where I was when this happened. Sixers lose to the Raptors 92-90 in the second round of the NBA playoffs. Game 7 up in Toronto when Kawhi Leonard hit the buzzer beater that bounced. I guess it only bounced 4 times. I felt like it bounced 100 times. But he hit the game-winning fadeaway, falling out of bounds, hit the rim 4 different ways, and went in, ending the Sixers' dream of going to the championship. And truthfully, you never know what would have happened with that run, because the Raptors did go on to beat the Warriors in the final. Could that have been the Sixers' run? You win that series on the road, and then all of a sudden you build momentum, playoff Jimmy Butler. You never know. But we still had high hopes after that season, anticipating what the Sixers were going to do. Were they going to keep Jimmy Butler? Were they going to how were they going to build the team around these guys? But then it all started to fall apart for the Sixers, and I feel like this was the end of the process, or beginning of the end of the process. This is where they gave Tobias Harris the big contract, sign and traded Jimmy Butler, gave Ben Simmons. I believe this is when he got his contract extension. And, of course, everybody feels because of what Jimmy Butler said that they kept Tobias Harris over him, when in reality they chose to stick with Ben Simmons over Jimmy Butler. Man, what could have been. And then, of course, COVID happened. It just was it was all downhill. And here we are, rooting for ping pong balls in the NBA draft lottery. But on this day in 2019, Sixers lose to the Raptors 92-90 in Game 7 of the second round. And, of course, who could forget the fact that Al Horford, the spy, came in and completely... It's actually because of Al Horford is why we're rooting for the ping pong balls today, because in order to get out of that ridiculous contract, we had to trade a protected pick to Oklahoma City. Yep. So you can thank Al Horford if the Sixers don't get this pick. And then finally today, our Philly Sports Summer Playlist Song of the Day. We're going to stick with the Sixers theme today. And our Song of the Day to add to your playlist is Ain't No Stopping Us Now by McFadden and Whitehead. It reached number 13 on the Billboard Top Hot 100. It was the number 1 soul single on the Billboard charts. They are a Philly duo. And you might remember that 2001 Sixers run where that was the unofficial theme to the Sixers. They even performed it during some of the playoff games. But before the Sixers used it in 2001, the 1980 Phillies used it, and it did help lead them to a World Series. So Ain't No Stopping Us Now by McFadden and Whitehead is today's Philly Sports Summer Playlist Song of the Day. And since we talked Phillies and the Phillies are hot right now, your bonus song is Ring My Bell by Anita Ward, another very similar sounding song from that same genre, same time frame, because why not? It's a great song. It's catchy. You're probably singing it right now, so there's your bonus song. But McFadden and Whitehead is our official Philly Sports Summer Song Playlist, or Philly Sports Summer Playlist Song of the Day. And Ring My Bell by Anita Ward is the bonus because, again, why not? On this day in 2019, Sixers lose to the Raptors when Kawhi Leonard hit the buzzer beater that bounced 4 times off of the rim to give them the win. Kind of signaled the peak, maybe. I don't know if that was the peak because they did have some good runs, but then Ben Simmons completely fell apart. Joe, again, started getting hurt. But, man, if they would have just kept Jimmy Butler. And then in 2009, Phillies beat the Dodgers 5-3. Jayson Werth stole 4 bases, including 3 in 1 inning. And we know how just magical that season was. And this was actually a key game. Obviously, it was a preview of the NLCS that year, but the Phillies came into this game not playing very well. So Jayson Werth's big game on the base paths kind of sparked the Phillies and got them a little bit back on track. We'll have more updates on any rumors we hear about the Eagles' schedule release. The only thing we do know for certain is that they are playing the opening Thursday night of the season. Sixers, lottery tonight. So that's the question of the day. What pick do you think the Sixers are going to get? I have a bad feeling that they're going to end up losing this pick. I think somehow the NBA, I'm not saying it's rigged, but somehow the NBA is going to fix it so the Sixers still get punished for the whole process area. But that's just, and then all of the load management and things like that. I have a feeling if the NBA can, they're going to try to stick it to the Sixers. But what do you think? Where are the Sixers going to pick? 267-495-8531. That'll get you into the Back to the Future voice and text line. Let's go. Fingers crossed. Get your lucky rabbit's feet out. Whatever you got to do for the draft lottery tonight. Phillies Cardinals tonight as well, so we'll update that. Can Kyle Schwarber remain hot? Let's hope. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for May 12th, 2025. My name's Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Monday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.